Hello, Stone Fruit World. Welcome back to this mini series. Actually, quick aside, I'm going to tell you a funny story about mini series. For ages on Netflix, where they describe things as a mini series, I kept reading it as miniseries. And for about 3 months, I was thinking, what's a minisery? Little aside for you there. Okay, so we are on week 5, part 5 of Rewilding Stone Fruit. So this is where our host of Stone Fruit, Rebecca Gunter, has allowed me into the hot seat, and she has become my willing co-conspirator this week. And let me coach her live on this little mini show, where we have gone from her vision through her goals. We've looked at her positioning. We started looking at her offers last week. And this week, we're going to, by the end of the show, touch on sales and marketing. But in the same way that we've done on each of the previous episodes so far, we're going to start this episode by going back to. We're going to start by recapping on her positioning because she's done some more work on that. So let's get the final version, because this is what we're sharing with you here is the process week by week. But of course, things are ready when they're ready. And Rebecca's positioning is now ready to share the final version. So that's really awesome. And then we're going to look back at her homework that I set her from last week, which was to review her offer ecosystem. And I've got a feeling she's been putting in some pretty good work on that this week. So I'm excited to review that with her. And of course, once we're clear on what the offers are, what the customer journey is, what Stone Fruit sells, then we're going to decide what are the feel-good marketing strategies that are going to work for this business, that are really going to move it forward so that all of those goals we talked about in episode 2 or episode 1, I think maybe, we can go back and look at those through the lens of what we are selling and make sure that everything is aligned, that everything's coming to life. Okay, Rebecca, let's do it. Hi, I'm Gill Moakes. I'm a business coach and mentor and the host of the Heads Together podcast. I help ambitious, freedom-seeking entrepreneurs step into who they really are and create wildly profitable businesses doing what they love. Rewild Your Business on the Stone Fruit Roll-Up is a 6-part documentary. It's a reality TV series for business, if you like, where I'll be taking my business bestie, Rebecca Gunter, the founder of Stone Fruit, on a journey to define success on her terms.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rebecca Gunter, Peach-in-Chief at Stoned Fruit. I'm a brand strategist, developer, and copywriter.
I want her to start regenerating time and energy for herself. And we're going to do that by rewilding her business, by cutting away what doesn't belong to allow what does to thrive.
The biggest challenge in my business right now is how freaking overcomplicated it is. No one knows what to buy from me, and I need someone to help me clear the forest and help me replant the seeds that actually have a functionality and a purpose.
So over the next 6 weeks, we'll be deconstructing the idea that there's only one right way to do business. And my goal is that by the end of the series, Rebecca will be crystal clear and completely confident, owning her own unique ecosystem. Rebecca, am I right in thinking you've been pretty busy over the last week since week 4 of the miniseries?
Well, I guess I better take it seriously because you're putting in so much work coaching me. And I think you might be a little bit tired in our regular coaching sessions of all of the boo-hoo-hooing and ready to rip off the Band-Aid and do something about it. And so this week in my homework, I felt like I turned a little corner. It felt less just overwhelmingly oppressive in trying to figure it all out when I'm so close to it. And now I'm energized. So I got my purple Sharpie out. I'd like to remind the folks at home, we're doing a 6-part docu-mini series called Rewilding Stone Fruit, in which transformational business coach and my business bestie, Gill Moakes, is putting me in the hot seat. She said she was in the hot seat, but I'm really in the hot seat for this very special kind of entrepreneurial experience in which we're ripping up my resume and starting again. And I'm excited to have you here, Jilly. Thank you.
I am always excited to be here. So thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me be the boss. So, like I said in the beginning, I want us to go back 2 steps. And this is the process, isn't it? This is the process. It's okay. So here we are. This is what we need to do. Then it takes a little while to get that ready, but we don't stop moving forward. We keep moving forward, and then we go back and backfill each time when we need to perfect something. We go back. Oh, okay, now it's done. So we're going back to positioning to begin this one.
And I think it's important to note that for folks who are either using this video series to do their own version of rewilding. And Jilly, you're going to have something a more formal program for folks who want to go on this solo retreat. Is that not true?
Yes.
Tell the folks at home a little bit about what they can anticipate in doing this on their own with your through your process or through your program.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is going to be I'm calling it a solo virtual retreat. It's going to be called Rewild Your Business. So the same name as the show here. And the format of it will be that it's very intentionally hands off for me. You're going to get prompts. You're going to get information. You're going to get guidance. You're going to get reference material. You're going to get signposts. You're going to get templates. You're going to get things that you need to do this work, but very, very intentionally, you're going to go away and do it on your own, in your own time, without input from a group coaching program, without input from any coaching, because there's actually some fundamental work here. And it sounds crazy, coming from a coach, I know, to say that actually there are some things that at least when you're feeling like something's misaligned. So like you, Rebecca, this isn't your first rodeo. You haven't just set up your business, but you were at a place where it was just not feeling quite as aligned.
I felt like I bought myself a job, Jilly.
Right, exactly. And actually, I think for people who are at that point, going away and taking some time out, and I encourage people who buy this program to actually get the login info, get everything lined up, and then go and book yourself in a blooming hotel for a weekend. Or if that's not possible, at least put a do not disturb sign on your door and get some quiet time, work in the silo, all the things we're told not to do. Do it. Listen
get your
to
purple
yourself.
Sharpie out.
Get your purple Sharpie out. And because the problem is, if you are inviting in other perspectives constantly, you're drowning out your intuition. And there are some things, particularly in that beginning work, where we're talking about vision and goals and what you really, really want from your business. Those are things that actually having time and space to think about them on your own is really important. So that's why I've created that. That's why we're running through this as a kind of, for me, this is brilliant, because this has been such a great way for me to validate that this process works, doing things in this order works. And so far, so good, right?
So far, so good. I definitely ship the idea. It's not how you're supposed to use that word, Rebecca. Definitely validate the idea that this is work you should do alone. To be as true to yourself as possible. If you can release the anxiety or liberate yourself from kind of what someone else will say in response to your work, you can be a lot freer with it. And I think it's super important to acknowledge, as you did at the top of this show, that this is sometimes it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It took me a long time to hash out this positioning statement. And, I could even come in here next week and revise it again. It's not a process where you kind of take that step and then the door closes behind you and you can take the next step. Sketching out your customer journey and your offer ecosystem is no joke. It's going to require a lot of refinement, I think.
You're so right. It's a true evolution. And we know that every phase of evolution is informed by what's going on around you. It isn't a once and done. It's not a, positioning, finish that then. I'll never look at that again because that's set in stone. It's not like that. It doesn't work like that because we change all the time.
If only it did. If only it did.
Yeah.
How can people go and find out more about your retreat and what do you want them to do next?
So at the moment, I just would love them to reach out to me by email. Good old fashioned email. Just email Gill, so Gill at gillmoakes.com. That's my website there that Rebecca is holding up there. But actually also, if you go on and download any of the resources on my website, you will automatically hop onto my email list and then you'll be kept abreast of it anyway. So there's the vision and goal setting bundle, which will form, that's a really great introduction to this kind of work anyway. So that might be something
we started here. If you've been here through episodes 1, 2, and 3, we were in this workbook and that was my homework.
That's right.
So even us, Joey, even us.
That's it.
Okay, my darling.
So get onto the email list because that's where I always keep everyone in my little circle updated with this kind of stuff.
Excellent. All right, so I can
share that.
Oh my goodness! Of course, that is the point of this show. Keep it meta and keep it moving, baby.
Mo meta, mo better.
Oh my God, I love that. Also, is evolution what happens in the miniseries? What is it again? The miniseries.
The miniseries
Happens in the evolution.
Evolution.
All right. So when last we left our heroes, we had reviewed 1, 2, 3 versions of a positioning statement. We had landed that version 3 was really close. We needed to judge the because only, but it was really close. So when I got into it to judge the because only and get close, I ripped it up and started from scratch again, as I am wont. That's WONT to do. So now I have a version 4 for us to consider. Would you like me to read it out loud?
I would really love you to read it out loud.
Okay. All right. Indeed. Thank you. For status quo smashers, idea factories, and problem solvers with big business energy who need words that work, Stone Fruit is the brand voice articulator, creative content agency, and copy shop co-op that brings your reputation to life and amplifies your rallying cries in sustainably sticky brand voice, the literal incarnation of your one-of-a-kind positioning, messaging, and core values, and delivers content that connects because people only buy into what they believe in.
That was my mic drop moment. I just adore this positioning for you. I absolutely love it. Can I call out a few of the things I love and why, please?
You certainly can. And thank you.
Well, I'm going to try and not let it be all of it. But the first thing that jumps at me, big business energy.
That's my favorite part.
Big business energy. people who will love working with you, who will want to buy your words that work, have big business energy. You are not for the shrinking violets out there, right?
Or the get ready to get readiers.
Or the get ready to get readiers, right? You are for the activators, the activists and the activators. And I just absolutely love big business energy there. I think that's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. The other thing I love is that you have now killed off a darling, and you're making what you do, or what stone fruit this is important, what stone fruit does, very specific. Brand voice articulator, words that work. Creative content agency, words that work. Copy shop co-op, words that work. The entrepreneurial activator in you is how you do what you do. The coach in you is how you do what you do. It's what sets you apart from every other copywriting agency out there. But as you always tell people, this isn't the time to get overly clever. Say what you do. Brand voice articulator.
Also, I think we could move all that entrepreneurial activization, is that a word, to the Rebecca Gunter personal brand.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Rebecca Gunter can bring that into stone fruit.
Correct.
But it isn't what stone fruit is.
Correct. I think.
Stone fruit is a creative content agency.
Here's where I'm begging for validation. Right, Julie?
Yes.
Breathing in, breathing out. I do have the naughty word in here, but I paired it with messaging and core values to give it context.
Exactly. And oh my God, that's hitting the nail on the head. It needs context. Without context, it doesn't mean much to other people who aren't in the brand world.
Agreed.
Oh,
I got away with it.
About this. You definitely got away with it. Sticky brand voice is amazing. The literal incarnation of anything works for me. I wouldn't have cared what came after that. The literal incarnation.
And it's using the word not in the pop culture way, but in the true to form way. It is the literal incarnation. My favorite part is that people only buy into what they believe in. Because, although I love big business energy, it works like people will only buy the words that you sell if they believe in it. People will only buy into your ideas and your calls to action if they believe in it. And by the way, you are also people. So if you don't believe in you, you're not going to live the brand. You're not going to embody it. It's not going to be your literal incarnation because you don't believe in it.
That's
so
right.
it
works
closes
on so many levels.
That's when I know I've won. It works on so many levels, and it's not more clever than clear.
The other very literal way it works as well is yes, it's about buying into something. So believing and trusting and embracing, but also buying. People won't pay money to your clients if the words they use to sell what they do don't work. Simple as.
Exactly. Full stop.
Full stop. Or as you would say, period. Period.
Period. Oh my God.
Period.
That's what I would say. Period.
Oh my God. Period.
So good. Okay. Well, that really puts that to bed, I think.
I think it does. And it does for now. Stone fruit will evolve. You'll evolve. But I think this is now your North Star. This positioning statement is your North Star. And it now means that any offer that you sell under Stone Fruit needs to answer to this. The people that you serve via Stone Fruit need to fit this. The way you market needs to fit this. So I think I'm just so glad that you've absolutely nailed it. It's brilliant.
Well, how easy is it? Let's just make a case for a positioning statement. How easy is it to market when you've got all the, oh, okay. Flow smashers, idea factors, and problem solvers, all three at once, addressing each single one on its own. What is big business energy? Bring your reputation to life, amplify your rallying cries. What is a sustainably sticky brand voice? Literal incarnation. Why is your positioning, messaging, and core values one of a kind? What is content that connects? And more about the idea that people only buy into what they believe in. So it's easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Anyone who has done positioning work with you should never be saying, I don't know what to post.
I don't know what to worry about. And that's what creates a branded universe. And that's why I think world building is a part of what we do here. But I did strip it out. I did kill my darling on word building, word and world building.
Yeah. I really like this so much. It's great.
I could not be more happy to have your approval. And, as you said, we may evolve, but finally I was like, okay, I think this is it. All the pieces feel right to me. I think this is it.
That's absolutely brilliant. And so leading on from this, if you could leave it there. Oh, sorry. Because what Stone Fruit brings to the market offers that bring your reputation to life, amplify your rallying cries in sustainably sticky brand voice, positioning, messaging, core values, content that connects. That's the thing. So that's what Stone Fruit delivers, content that connects. So I'm really interested now against the back. I am really interesting, but that's not what I meant to say.
I agree.
I'm really interesting now.
Never
what
not.
I'm interested in now is seeing how you went from this to sketching out your ecosystem, which is what the homework was for last week. And I think you've prepared a little bit of show and tell for us.
I have. So let me get to our proper slides. But I just want folks to, really embrace the idea that you don't have to do this all in an Airtable. You can, just get out a couple pieces of printer paper and your purple Sharpie and do the thing. So I guess the best thing to do, Jilly, is to read it out loud, ? How do you want to proceed?
I think so. Talk us through as you read it. So rather than just reading all the labels, I'd love you to kind of explain, why are these shaped like arrows? What does that represent? And
Excellent. But before I started that work, folks at home, I did an exercise where I really also sketched out how someone would go along kind of with the awareness journey, if you will, when they first, kind of step onto your platform. Maybe they're visiting your website or you're seeing you on, your YouTube channel or LinkedIn, and then kind of moving through kind of a content consumption journey all the way through to onboarding, welcome, service, offboarding, etc., to frame my thought process around the big picture of what's actually, attracting people, where do they come in, where are they in their own journey. So it's worth it, I think, to even take one step further back and think about somebody from the very first time their eyeballs land on your brand until, the onboarding, rinse and repeat. Okay. So also, Jilly, I did my triangle with offers here. So everything's really contextualized within the idea of a freemium, a low ticket offer, a high ticket offer, and also a premium offer as per my homework assignment.
Perfect.
Okay. So what I did was create kind of a linear experience, although I do believe that it's not completely linear, that you can kind of attack something from several aspects of the color wheel, but from a maturation standpoint, this is what made sense to me. In the very beginning, I just kind of have a stage, and then across the top, I've done an arrow to show where they'd be evolving into if I had my druthers, or how I think a brand can fully develop. So at the beginning of every stage is the beginning of it all, in my opinion, is an existential crisis of not really being able to either articulate who you are, really see who you are, needing someone to facilitate and hold up a mirror to what's happening. Underneath that, Jilly, the offers that I have nested are coaching, workshops, and mastermind. Moving forward, the next stage is defining the brand. So first you're in an existential crisis, then we're defining the brand. Underneath that, offers could be a define your brand workshop, a brand book, positioning, core values, the 3 statements, positioning, mission, and vision. So those are some large scale sketch outs. Also, I put look and feel here because if you're evolving your brand and you want a new look and feel, I can partner with a designer. And since we're branding ourselves as an agency, that collaborative piece nests here if somebody needs a look and feel, like with Lauren or with Calvin. Right. Okay, so you've had your existential crisis, then you've defined the brand, then moving from there, you're either going to align or revamp the assets that you currently have, or you're going to create a new digital world of assets, or you're going to do a combination therein. So in between define the brand and align, and then your assets, I have strategy stage, which is coaching. But I almost forgot about it. So I put it down here with a little bit of an arrow, which just reminds folks at home that you can forget that your true differentiator hasn't been baked into the process enough. So I came in at the last minute and put coaching there. So existential crisis, define the brand, coaching, which is really strategy, brand strategy, and then you'll work on your assets. From that is website copy, whether it's rip and replace or starting from scratch, a LinkedIn profile makeover / social, nurture sequences, social platforms.
Yep.
Okay.
Love.
All right. From there.
Yes. Can I just say, can I just interrupt a minute and just say that this feels so clear, and it feels like completely and utterly refined down into what the journey people actually go on. So I am loving this so much.
From there,
I hate it when I have nothing bad to say. God damn.
You'll find something. From there, I have a ramping visibility / platform building. So a blog, a branded concept, not just, blog, but what is the blog? What's the point? Like a very, a fully realized experience. Blog, newsletter, podcast, live stream, Substack, a book, or a keynote.
Oh.
From there, then you'd really be into funnel building, I think. Sales pages, landing pages, sales emails, opt-in, confirmation, nurture sequences, and then whatever the thing is, the download, the challenge, whatever the media piece is. So from there, you've had the existential crisis, you've defined the brand, you've gotten strategy, you've brought all your assets in alignment to a branded universe. Now you're going to really put some effort into your platform or your visibility, whether that's a book or a newsletter or a keynote talk or whatever it is. Now you're going to start pushing funnels and funnel development, getting, building your list and making sales for specialized experiences. And from there, you can move into a full, I call it the branded multiverse, which is, I think, full fat coaching, which is strictly coaching on living the brand, embodying all of these ideals, walking the walk and talking the talk. And then you could go back to square one for your next project.
It's so the full fat coaching is the enlightenment. If we were going back to the enlightened brand. Mm. Mm-hmm. So there are so many analogies for this. I've got launch, grow, scale in my head. I think you have possibly just unearthed your absolute USP, unearthed your edge. This is your framework, because I love this. It's an absolute perfect progression. So the existential crisis. So can I give you some feedback?
Please and thank you in advance. I don't expect I got it perfectly.
So existential crisis, I think we need to just make sure that language at this stage is meeting them where they're at. Does it feel like an existential crisis to them? No, it probably feels like I can't get the right clients. I don't have enough money in the bank.
Or a pivot. I think it's very strongly around a pivot. You recognize it's time to change something.
Yes. So existential crisis, yeah, it could be that it needs to be a little more accessible for what people are really feeling, like the call of the pivot or something.
Yeah, pivot power. Dun, 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 dun.
Right. And I think that stage is all about naming it, isn't it? It's naming how you're feeling. It's naming it so that you can see what you need. Because until you see that you need to redefine or define your brand, you will never come up with the right answers. You'll stay in the existential crisis. So this is what I love the most about this, by the way, is that every single one of these pillars feeds the next. So next one is define the brand. So this is all the really foundational work. This is really a lot of this is the brand strategy. This is really getting to grips with the foundations of the brand, isn't it?
And the brand voice, and the brand voice articulation.
Yeah. Huge. And then I love how there's kind of two options for them next. It could be that after redefining or defining their brand, it is so far from where they were, their only option is to create a completely new digital world for themselves. Or it could be that it is more of just a realignment of their assets. So I love that you've called that out and showed that there are two options around that. The work is pretty similar. Would I be right in saying that?
You would. It's like the difference between brand new website copy and rip and replace is that with rip and replace, I'm working with a finite amount of like real estate and words so that the lift of revamping your website is only copy and paste versus brand new where I'm kind of strategizing about the flow of content, how the information is organized. Like I'm starting from scratch versus working within a system. But other than that, we're writing from scratch. So I love calling out the difference there. I don't think you need to call out the difference in your framework because actually I think it is about aligning the assets. It's aligning or realigning assets. And your process and what you bring to that is the coaching around which they need to do. That's where they're going to need some help. I'm taking notes, podcast audience.
Yeah. So I really like that. Can we go back to sharing the doom?
Of course. Yes. Of course we can.
And just for the neatness and beautiful flow of this framework, I quite like it if it was just one pillar. But I do like the call out of the difference there. And then it's platform building. And this is, this is huge, because let's think about marketing as a whole, which we're going to come on to. Marketing is not as complicated as people make it out to be. It's about visibility, lead generation, and sales. And this is where, okay, you've built your brand. What are you going to do with it now? What are you going to do with that beautiful brand that you've just built, including these beautifully aligned assets? Well, you're going to use it to ramp up your visibility and to generate leads for your business. And how do you do that? You do that by having an original content platform, whether that's a blog, a podcast, a YouTube channel. All of that needs words that work. So this is so gorgeously aligned with the concept that we talked about in a previous episode of this miniseries, which was about how what you do is what makes marketing work. And that is this platform building with your support, with the words that work, is what will make marketing effective. So I absolutely just love that. And then what comes after that lead generation and that visibility? Well, it's the lead generation and the sales. And that's exactly what your next phase is, which is through landing pages, opt-ins, nurture sequences, sales pages. All of that is about getting people to raise their hand and say, yes, I'm interested. I'm going to opt in. I want to be kept abreast of what you're developing. I want to be one of the first to hear about it when you have something new to sell. And so that for me is the absolute, perfect progression. Of course, if someone has that nailed, if someone has then nailed making consistent sales within their business, they've absolutely nailed how to grow their business, which is why we market our businesses, so we can grow them in a way that feels good. What do they want after that? And this is where this final piece comes in, this coaching, because for me, people have a choice. Once they've got a business that is working, obviously every single business is a work in progress. You never get to the end of it and say, oh, excellent, I don't have to do anything. I'll just sit back and count my money.
And isn't that the best news ever?
Isn't that the best news ever? Because that's why we do this, because we bloody love it. But also, I do believe that when someone has in time, because remember this isn't an overnight thing. People going down this journey of exquisite brand messaging and absolutely robust marketing strategy and sales strategy. It's not an overnight thing. It takes time. But when they come out the other end of that, they're ready to make a decision whether they're going to scale this business or they want to start another project. And that is what that coaching at the end is going to absolutely be the final piece in that framework puzzle. I'm blown away by this. This is so, so good.
Did you know I had it in me?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely. Of course I knew that you had it in you. But sometimes your brain works fast. And also you are very, very customer-centric, client-centric in your business. So you don't tend to put anything above delivering to your clients. So I get why sometimes it's really hard for you to make space in your business to sit alone and do this kind of work. But can I ask you, how did it feel to get this caught on paper?
Hopeful is honestly the best word I can come up with. Because when you really bought yourself a job, maybe it's a cool job, but the job I bought myself has just the worst boss I've ever had. She's uncompromising. She gives her no vacation. She's so demanding. Just a terrible boss. It can feel like when the real vulnerable moment is questioning, when will this ever pay off? It pays off in that you're right. I am so client centric that when I'm really great at vetting a client, it hardly feels like work at all because like, yeah, we're so into it. But it also feels like just so many opportunities are left on the table. There are other leads out there that I meet that I think would be fantastic fit. And yet I can't seem to get it going because I don't have a clear offer and people don't know what to refer me for. And then all of this is just almost like entrepreneurial energy that's just on the hamster wheel. And something Paul King calls I think he calls it a tug of war or a teeter-totter between, the work that you love and finding the new client. And it can feel hopeless. Like, oh my God, when is this ever going to even be sustainable where I'm not, juggling my finances to make sure that I can add one, simple team member or invest in, a small project or get something done professionally. And it always feels so angsty. This work has made me feel like hopeful, like, okay, customer journey. Okay. Like all the things you should do that you actually never sit down and do. And you can start to imagine the benefits of having all this stuff mapped out, like you are here to find the brand.
You are here. Oh, now what a you are here slider. A you are here slider. Imagine, so one of the things that I've used a lot in discovery calls with potential new coaching clients is my own little Moakes method framework, which takes people from, vision, goals, brand. What? Oh God, business model, marketing, systems. Yeah. Right. And I love the idea of a you are here slider along that. And this is I just noticed something that's not on here that I think should be on here.
Yes.
Case studies.
Oh man. That's under assets. Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Website copy, I guess you could call it, but I think it deserves a call out of its own because a really, really well written case study does such a heavy lift for you.
You're 100% correct. I remembered about case studies when I started this and then I forgot about it. So thank you. Yeah, under assets.
So once you've done this, which you, Rebecca, have done so well and sketched out this customer journey, you can so easily see what comes next. Okay, so what are the offers that actually deliver these things?
Well, how would you want me to start? Do you want me to talk about this pyramid that you asked me to design or show you some offers? I think
so. I'd love to talk about the pyramid first because then I think the final thing is the actual offers. But just for those watching, obviously what you don't do is go away and try and create an offer for every single one that delivers on every single one of those things under each pillar in one go. Right. So there has to be an element of strategic planning here around, okay, where are people coming to me usually in the first instance? So where do most people come to me? What are they ready for when most people come into my world? So that's what I would tend to use that to prioritize. And also, in terms of like lots of people do this in different ways. So I like the pyramid because for me, it makes sense. It's got that wide bottom where it's about volume and it's lower price going right up to the tip of the pyramid where it's low volume, high price. So I think Rebecca has sketched out her version of that, haven't you?
I did. Yeah. At the very bottom of my, sorry, I don't have it in the slideshow. I could, but it was taking it this way and reorienting, and I ran out of time. Okay. I mean, that's just the truth. All right. So at the very bottom of my period is freemium. Next is low ticket, as you defined to me last week as offers that are $2,000 or less.
Mhm.
The next piece of the pyramid is high ticket, which I'm defining as $10,000 or less. And at the very top of that, I have premium. So that's a $30,000, $50,000 a year value client. Okay.
Yep.
And the freemium level, I have things like, free coaching, which I do, a book, webinar, live streams, DIY stuff.
So just to clarify, when you say free coaching, you mean on a discovery call, for example, or a breakthrough session or a brand session?
Or you can come and get free coaching on the Stonefruit Rollup. Apply at stonefruitrollup.com. You can apply there and come on the show and get free coaching. I encourage everyone to do it. And of course,
the show itself is a freemium offer.
And I do have live streams on here. So,
perfect. And the reason that I always want people to include their free offers in the bottom of that pyramid, just to be clear, is because free offers have to be marketed just the same as paid offers have to be. And so many people forget that you can't just have a platform and it be free and then people flock to it. You have to tell people about it. You have to market it. You have to give them a reason to want to tune in. Right? So, I love that. Would you mind listing them out again for me so I can process as you're reading them? Free
coaching, book, webinar, live streams, DIY stuff. And I imagine maybe the opt-ins go here too, like Branthropology 101 and seasoned advice, things like that.
Yeah. All of your free offers need to go there. And in the spirit of rewilding your business, if you find that you've got 30 free things and they're a little bit scattered and they're not really all speaking to the same people and they're kind of like not really the perfect runway for the next thing, which is the low ticket offers, then it's time to actually prune those and get rid of the ones that aren't aligned. So just doing this exercise, mapping out what you've already got and spotting where the gaps are is really, really helpful.
Thank you, Julie.
You're welcome.
Okay. Under the low ticket pyramid, I have Define Your Brand Workshop.
Yep.
LinkedIn Business, which I normally price at $2,500, but I'll put it under $2,000 to make it a low ticket offer. LinkedIn business page or a short version of your LinkedIn profile. I can't do the entire thing nose to tail for under $2,000. There's no way. Landing page, a sales / promo emails, and VIP days.
So a VIP day would be under $2,000. Is that 1-to-1?
What would my coach say? Yes, it was 1-to-1. VIP half day, VIP third of a day, VIP 90 minutes. I'm not really sure, but I feel like
I think it depends what the value someone would get out of a VIP day with you. So for me, I'm thinking if it was a VIP day and I had you to myself for a whole day, and let's say that we call that 6 hours, and I had your brain for 6 hours just working on my brand, I would expect to pay more than $2,000 for that.
Okay, let's move that up then. Thank you. See, audience at home, I was trying to be accessible and I shot myself in the foot.
Can you see? But also, can you see how the perception of the value of a whole day of your time is, that's it's not representative of the value that you would deliver someone in that amount of time.
Maybe there's some sort of one-on-one thing that's low ticket, like entrepreneur therapy one-off, some sort of 90-minute thing, or I'm not sure, but if there's a way to get my attention and still be low ticket, question mark.
I really like the idea of that being your discovery call. That's your free session with you. The really important thing with a free session, free coaching on the show, or a free call with you, but they have to apply for that. So it's free, but they have to apply for it, because what we want to do is make sure that you're only gifting that time to someone who has the potential to become a great client because you're aligned. So we need to make sure you're aligned before you get on the call with them. So I think an application only one-to-one session with you that's maybe like an hour or 90 minutes long.
90 minutes for sure. It takes 20 minutes just to soften, just for people to feel safe.
But I think that's free. That's free, as long as it's application.
Okay, I moved it down to the freemium level. See, audience at home, this is why Jilly's process really works, because you can see it all from a top level.
Yeah, you really can. You're welcome.
Is there anything else you wanted me to put in low ticket?
So can you remind me, we've got LinkedIn business page.
Yeah, I could do
and
a
light version of a LinkedIn profile.
I could do a landing page where it's just, a single, like an offer page almost. Maybe that's too much. Define a brand workshop to me should be in this range, because this is the thing.
Right. So what I was just going to say was, in terms of fleshing out that pyramid, I would love you to go back to your pillars and really pull out as many things from there as you feel would sit in that below 2000 level, and put them all in that tier.
That's a good idea.
And all of the things that are above that go in the tier above. And then what we'll also do then is look at all of the things that are in that low ticket tier and see what could be bundled up into a higher ticket offer. So as a really good example of that, let's say someone comes and they just want a landing page design because they have a specific thing that they want to create a sales page for. Let's say that. If you were to say, yes, you can definitely have that and it costs X, but also you can bundle that up with, a website audit together with a nurture sequence to tie in with this sales page. I mean, to be honest with you, a sales page and a nurture sequence are the obvious bundle, for that.
Yeah, I agree. And social.
But also then you go the other way and think, well, hang on to that. What about a webinar? So what about webinar slides plus sales page plus nurture sequence? That's a funnel right there. That is a funnel in its own right, and so it could be then you think, okay, so what's the whole funnel there? It's a webinar registration page, it's webinar slides, it's the sales page, and then the email nurture sequence. That is a very natural bundle. So that would be a webinar sales funnel bundle. And each one of those things in the bundle, you can put a price tag on, and some of them will sit in the low ticket offers. But if they want the full bundle, then it's probably next tier up.
It is for sure.
But can you see how, if you go back to that, so as part of homework for this week is going to be about going back to those pillars, pulling out all of the different things, putting as many kind of, that concept we had about the copy shop co-op of buying things off the shelf, putting some prices on things that could be sold as individuals, but then bringing together these really lovely, enticing bundles. Because why would anyone just want copy for a sales page? It's like that in isolation it's like buying, I don't know. I can't think of a really good metaphor. I'm usually good with metaphors. Can't think of one. But you get my point.
It's buying a single hot dog with no bun, relish.
With no bun, no onions, no relish.
It's a hot chili.
Or it's actually worse. It's like just buying the bun.
No meat. Yeah, because there's no meat. Okay, so what's next, Jilly?
So,
15 minutes
homework
left.
to be clear. Business model. So we can't even think about sales and marketing until we know what we're selling. So homework for this week is to revisit, get really clear, ideally on a shareable slide, the pyramid with all of the different bits that you've pulled off of that framework and slotting them in and bundling them up into what makes sense. So for example, positioning, messaging, and values is a bundle, right?
Yeah, like the three statements could be a bundle. Positioning, mission, and vision.
Yeah,
those could be a bundle.
I think there's going to be a few things like that. And don't try and do it through the eyes of your clients. What are they going to resonate with thinking of what they want? So the webinar one's such a good example, because there are so many people for whom a webinar funnel is such a great way to sell something. If you're selling something that's around $1,500 to $3,000, right? Recording a free masterclass or webinar, getting people to register for that, and then really kind of giving them value on the webinar. And then in the last sort of 20 minutes of the webinar, positioning what it is you have to sell and inviting them to go to look at the sales page after they finish on the webinar is a great way of selling things in that kind of price range. So for someone who wants to leverage that strategy to sell their thing, their program, their mid-tier offer, being able to come to you, Rebecca, and say, okay, I really want to do a webinar, but I don't know where to start with this. And I don't know what all the parts are. Okay, well, it's a registration page. It's webinar slides. There's some discovery around that. It's the sales page that you send them to afterwards. And then it's other little bits as well. It's things like, okay, the copy for the thank you page when they've registered.
The confirmation email.
The confirmation email. The reminder emails just before the live thing. And then it's also, what about the emails that come after 3 months and after 6 months?
Exactly.
Where you're going back to the people because most people on the webinar won't buy from you on that webinar. Most people won't buy. But a lot higher percentage when it's 3 to 6 months down the line, if you've been doing a good job of nurturing them on your email list, and then you go back to them and say, hey, maybe now's a better time, right? That could be a whole different story. So that would be a great offer for you, would be a webinar bundle. And
I like how you say bundle.
I love bundle. I love bundles. I'm really into, but I have a vision and goal setting bundle on my website. Love it. Another one could be a podcast bundle, show notes, the podcast description. There could be all sorts of things that you could come up with for that. The weekly email that shares about the podcast.
Also developing with the podcast, the concept, the positioning around that landing page.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, we could go on and on.
Oh my God. Honestly. So that's what I want you to do this week. I want you to think about all of the itty bits and pieces. And then when it comes to actually thinking about the offers, then I think it's really coming up with these bundled together solutions, because people aren't really shopping just for a landing page. They want a solution. So I'd love you to think about it through that lens. And then as well, because this week was really our sales and marketing week, what I want you to do is, once you've got those in mind, I also want you, parallel to that, to do a little bit of work around what feel-good marketing might mean for you. And really all I'm worried about you doing this week is being honest about what your non-negotiables are in terms of marketing. So what are the things that, as far as marketing is concerned, don't feel good to you and you're not going to do them?
Facebook and Instagram.
There we go. So you're not going to do those. So we're going to get really clear on what you're not going to do, but we're also going to get really clear on how your ideal clients consume, because there's no point in, having, for example, a blog if your clients are not readers of blogs. So we need to get really clear on that. I think they are, but yeah. And also that was a terrible example, because I would urge everyone to have a blog. I would love this to be one of your offers, would be a blog writing service, because every single person who is in charge in any way of a website should have an active blog that is bringing traffic to your website and has the ability to have a call to action in it in every single article. If you haven't, you are literally, it's madness. Madness, I tell you.
I just wanted to hear you say madness a second time.
Madness, I tell you.
Oh my God. It's a miniserie.
It's the miniseries. I've got the miniseries.
Better log off then.
I'm having an attack of the miniseries.
In the South, in American South, we call those the vapors.
I'm having an attack of the vapors.
Well,
so
Jilly,
how does that feel for homework this week? Are you clear, or do I need to go?
I am. I feel like I'm
rushed
gonna.
it, I think.
I need to mind map this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like I need to be able to move pieces around and kind of reconfigure.
Definitely.
So I know there's a piece of software out there for me to
There's software out there,
get
or
off the page.
Post-it notes. Post-it notes are really good for this.
Yeah. The good call, Jilly. Good call.
Really.
How are you feeling as master gardener in all of this, in this process?
I am feeling really great. I'm feeling really great. I think what you did over the last week has been absolutely phenomenal. And I really hope that people watching can see how this is getting tighter and tighter now. So it's going from being unclear around what the business actually is, who it serves. And then that positioning statement that Rebecca unveiled today, I think that's going to be so pivotal for her. And I think this framework that she has come up with, right? So let's look at that framework, right? And look at this. If we go back to the positioning a sec, I just want to nod to that, because look at the sticky brand voice, amplifying your rallying calls, positioning, messaging, core values, and delivers content that connects, because people only buy into what they believe in, right? So if Rebecca can now, for those status quo smashers, idea factories, and problem solvers, come up for them with offers that absolutely deliver these delicious packages of solutions for what they're trying to do. Are they trying to get visible? Well, okay, maybe it's the podcast package, maybe it's the blog package, maybe it's the YouTube package. Are they trying to generate leads within their business? Okay. Is it the webinar funnel package? Is it the freebie opt-in package? Is it the case study? Is it buying and having a really great case study created? Right? So you can see how when it comes to marketing your business, what Stone Fruit is going to be delivering is the assets for that marketing process that actually work. Because I can tell you this for an absolute fact, most marketing fails because the messaging is off. And I have absolutely no doubt about that. That is why most marketing campaigns fail. 2 reasons. Either the messaging is off, or the person is too impatient to give it a chance to work. So if you've been at your marketing for a while, you're still not seeing results, I will guarantee it's going to be a problem with your messaging. And you need Rebecca.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Jilly, this is an exciting part of the series. I'm so sad this next week is our last one. I love it. This has been the Stone Fruit Roll-Up, as Rewilding Stone Fruit has been a special miniseries. Rewilding Stone Fruit has been a small 6-part miniseries within the Stone Fruit Roll-Up. We've been hosted by transformational business coach and my business bestie, Gill Moakes, who's joined us all the way across the StreamYard screen to help me help myself get better at business stuff.
Get rewilded.
Yeah. Tell them, just before we sign off, Jilly, tell the folks at home what rewilding means to you.
Rewilding is, it's come to, I've kind of expanded what it means. So at first it was all about, for me, when I was very intent on simplifying my business. So rewilding was all about cutting away. It was about cutting away what doesn't belong to allow what does to thrive. So things like, for example, business models. I see so many people with a business model that has so many offers in it, and there's no logical order to them. There's no logical do this next pattern to their offers. So rewilding would be about, okay, what if you went all in on a couple of offers or on a very streamlined process that took your client from here to here and it made complete sense and it was simple. And, that's why I coined this term. Doubt if I coined it, to be honest, but why I use the term rewilding your business is that it was all about simplifying. But more recently, I've brought a different kind of dimension to it as well. And I think this has very much been about, obviously, that we brought unapologetic retreats to life this year. And I think there's an element of rewilding your business. And by that, I mean revisiting the wild dreams you had at the beginning. So it's just as much about bringing to life the full fat version of your dream business, rewilding the vision, being unapologetic about going for what you really want, but also keeping it laser focused, simple, the offers that your ideal clients need, clarity on serving one kind of client, all of the things that when you simplify them, they amplify your results. And that's what brings the wilder visions to life. So that's why.
You bring my vision to life. You bring my vision to life, Jilly.
Aww.
All right. Tell the folks at home where they can find you one more time.
Yes, gillmoakes.com. It's up on the screen right now. And you can email me at jill@gillmoakes.com, or you go to my website. Like I say, opt in for any of the freebies. That'll get you on my email list. And then you'll get to hear about all sorts of things. You can also listen to me every Monday on the Heads Together podcast, which is on everywhere that you listen to podcasts, basically. Listen to the Heads Together podcast.
We will see you next week on the roll-up with the final episode of Rewilding Stone Fruit, where we talk about systems and still marketing and et cetera, et cetera. Right, Jilly?
Yeah. What we'll do is we'll look at homework from this week. We'll pick up on marketing and sales, and then we'll just at the end we're just going to talk about systems and things that can make your life easier and make it very doable.
Sounds grand. I love you, Jilly.
Love you too. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, darling.